The vast chamber of the alien warship shimmered with strange, pulsating lights. Tall angular walls reflected the energy coursing through the ship, giving the impression of a living, breathing structure. At the center of the chamber, a massive arena had been prepared. It was a place where the strongest warriors of the galaxy showed their skill, and where failure often meant death. The alien queen, a figure both feared and revered across star systems, sat on her high throne, her eyes scanning the assembled crowd of warriors and nobles. Every movement she made radiated authority and power, her long fingers adorned with rings that glowed faintly with alien energy. She had seen thousands of combatants, warriors from hundreds of worlds, and she had never been impressed until today. A commotion at the entrance of the arena drew her attention. Her advisors whispered among themselves, their voices trembling slightly. "Your Majesty," one said, his tone tight with disbelief, "a human has entered the ship. A single human, alone." The queen tilted her head, a faint smile playing at her lips. "A human?" she asked, her voice both amused and curious. "Tell me, does this human come to entertain me or to die?" "They say he moves with purpose, Your Majesty, and he carries only a small blade. It seems fragile," another advisor added almost nervously. The queen's laughter echoed through the chamber. It was a sound that could command armies or silence them instantly. "A small blade?" she said, rising from her throne. "Show him to me." Moments later, the human stepped into the arena. He was neither tall nor muscular by alien standards, but there was something in the way he held himself that demanded attention. His dark hair was tied back simply, and his eyes were steady, scanning the arena as if it were a familiar battlefield. In his hand he carried a small dagger, the metal catching the strange light of the chamber. The queen's laughter rang out, sharp and mocking. "Is that a blade or a toothpick?" she said, pointing at the human with one elegant finger. Around her, alien nobles whispered and snickered. The human, however, did not flinch. He looked at the queen calmly, then slowly reached to his belt and drew another blade. Its edge gleamed longer than the first, and it seemed to hum with potential energy as he balanced it expertly in his hand. A hush fell over the arena. The advisors blinked, some mouths hanging open. The queen's eyes narrowed, a spark of genuine interest flashing across her face. "Interesting," she murmured. "He is not afraid, and he is prepared. Let us see what he can do." The first of the queen's champions approached. It was a massive alien, forearms ending in razor-sharp claws, muscles bulging beneath iridescent skin. It moved with incredible speed, circling the human, claws scraping the arena floor with a sound like tearing metal. The human adjusted his stance, keeping both blades ready, his weight centered. The alien lunged, claws swinging in a deadly arc. The human sidestepped, his movement precise and fluid, almost like a dance. He slashed with one dagger, catching the alien off guard and leaving a shallow mark along its arm. The arena erupted with whispers. The human had just drawn blood from a creature that could crush most warriors in a single blow. The queen's smile grew. "Not bad," she said quietly, more to herself than to anyone else. "But can he endure more?" The next challenger was faster, smaller, and armed with an energy whip that crackled through the air. The human anticipated the attack, ducking under the whip as it lashed above his head. He swung one of his blades, cutting through the whip just before it could snap back at him. Sparks flew, and the alien stumbled back in surprise. He grinned faintly. This was more than brute strength. It was ingenuity, adaptability, and courage that no ordinary alien warrior possessed. Throughout the day, one opponent after another came at him. Each time, the human relied not on strength but on quick thinking and creative tactics. He used the arena environment, sliding along rails, vaulting over obstacles, and even using the reflections from the chamber walls to confuse his attackers. The queen watched intently, her curiosity growing. Her warriors were trained for perfection, for precision. But this human, he defied logic. He improvised, predicted, and adapted with a level of intelligence that was rare in the galaxy. The human's movements were deliberate. Each parry, each step, each feint was calculated. Yet they were also instinctive, natural. He had studied alien combat, yes, but he also relied on something deeper. Human intuition, the ability to take risks that aliens often would never consider. He could not match the raw strength of the Queen's champions, but he could outthink them, and sometimes that was far more dangerous. As the sun, or what passed for the sun in this orbiting warship, began to set, the arena grew tense. Only one challenge remained, A direct confrontation with the queen herself. She rose from her throne, her presence filling the chamber like a storm. The human did not bow, did not flinch. He simply raised his blades, ready for the duel. The queen's laughter, soft now, rang like a bell. So, human, you are still standing, and you have survived far longer than I expected. Do you understand the odds you face? I understand them, the human replied calmly. I also understand that underestimating me would be your mistake. Her eyes glimmered with amusement. Bold words. Let us see if they hold any weight. She moved forward, her form a blur of power and elegance. The human dodged, parried, and countered, his blades flashing in the dim light. Every strike she made was precise, every movement calculated, but the human kept pace, never panicking, never hesitating. His style was unpredictable, a mixture of human martial technique and instinctive adaptation. The queen's laughter returned, this time tinged with genuine admiration. Clever human, she whispered. You are not just a creature of flesh and bone. You are a storm contained in a fragile form. Their duel continued until both were breathing heavily, sweat and alien energy mixing in the air around them. The queen realized something she had not expected. She was not merely observing a human warrior. She was witnessing the potential of a species she had long dismissed as weak. Their courage, adaptability, and creativity were unlike anything her own warriors could demonstrate without guidance. Finally, the human lowered his blades not out of fear, but out of respect for the queen. She paused, her eyes narrowing as she considered him. There was a moment of silence that seemed to stretch across time. Then she smiled, a rare expression for someone so feared. You have survived, she said, her voice calm but powerful, and you have proven something I did not expect. Perhaps humans are not as weak as we believed. The human nodded slightly. I never intended to prove myself to you. I only intended to survive and to show what my people are capable of. The queen leaned back, still smiling, her laughter soft and thoughtful. Survival. And ingenuity. Yes, that is a combination worth noting. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other, human. As the crowd of aliens slowly dispersed, whispering among themselves, the human took a step back, finally allowing himself a moment to relax. He had faced overwhelming odds, yet he stood victorious, not through sheer strength, but through courage, intelligence, and the unpredictable nature of humanity itself. In the shadows, the queen's advisors murmured nervously. They had expected a quick and humiliating defeat. Instead, they had witnessed a display of skill and daring that none could ignore. The queen, still seated on her throne, considered the human with a mixture of amusement, curiosity, and respect. This small creature had done what thousands of her champions could not: command her attention, challenge her assumptions, and survive in a place designed for their destruction. The human's eyes scanned the arena once more. He was not finished. He knew this was only the beginning. The queen had noticed him now, and that could be both an opportunity and a danger. But he was ready, always ready. Humanity's edge had always been its adaptability, its unpredictability, its courage, and in the heart of the alien warship, he had proven it beyond doubt. The queen rose, her towering figure casting a long shadow across the arena. Tomorrow, she said, her voice carrying across the chamber, you will face new challenges. If you survive, we will speak of more than combat. We will speak of potential and power. The human lowered his blades again, this time with a quiet determination. He had faced the first day and he had survived. The true test had only begun, and he was ready to show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. And in that moment, deep in the alien warship, a single thought passed through the queen's mind. Perhaps she had underestimated humans entirely, and that could be a mistake she would never forgive herself for. The arena fell silent, but the echo of laughter and anticipation lingered. The human had arrived, and the galaxy, vast and indifferent, would never be the same. The next day, the arena of the alien warship was alive with energy. Alien warriors, nobles, and engineers gathered to witness what the queen had promised, the continuation of the human's trial. Whispers moved through the crowd like electricity. No human had ever survived this long in the arena, and yet here he was, calm, alert, and ready. The queen descended from her throne with her usual grace, her eyes fixed on the human. Today, she announced, her voice carrying across the chamber, you face my elite champions. Each of them is stronger, faster, and more dangerous than the last. If you survive, you will earn not just my attention, but a place to speak before my council. The human looked up at her, unflinching. I am ready, he said. His voice was quiet, but there was no doubt in it. His calm confidence drew glances from everyone in the arena. Even the Queen's advisors, who had scoffed at him before, now stared with cautious respect. The first challenger was unlike any the human had faced before. It was enormous, a creature covered in thick, iridescent armor that glowed faintly with alien energy. Its 4 limbs ended in claws capable of tearing through the thickest metal, and its eyes glowed with a cold, calculating intelligence. The human's mind raced. He knew brute force alone would not win this fight. He had to think, improvise, and use every skill he had learned. As the creature charged, the human sidestepped, narrowly avoiding the crushing claws. He used the arena's environment, sliding along raised platforms, vaulting over obstacles, and ducking under swinging mechanical arms. Every move was calculated yet instinctive. He darted to the side, then lunged, using one blade to slice a gap in the alien's armor. Sparks flew as the blade caught the edge of the armor, and the creature roared in surprise. The Queen's eyes shone with interest. She had expected the human to be clever, but not this clever. Her champions were trained for perfection, but the human was unpredictable, improvising in ways that no instruction could have prepared him for. Next, the human faced a group of smaller, faster opponents armed with energy whips, blades, and strange projectile weapons. They attacked from every angle, coordinating in a pattern designed to overwhelm any ordinary warrior. The human didn't panic. He danced through their attacks, using his blades to deflect projectiles, twisting and turning to avoid the energy whips, and striking in moments they did not anticipate. One of the aliens lunged with a whip, aiming for his leg. The human grabbed a nearby railing, swung over the attacker's head, and landed behind another opponent. In one fluid motion, he slashed with both blades, incapacitating 2 attackers at once. The crowd gasped. The Queen leaned forward slightly, her eyes gleaming with approval. She had expected strength, but the human was showing strategy, timing, and ingenuity, a combination far more dangerous than sheer power. Hours passed. One challenger after another fell, either incapacitated or forced to retreat. The human showed no fatigue, only focus. He adapted to every attack, every strategy, every surprise the aliens threw at him. He thought like a human, unpredictable and inventive, yet precise. Every step, every move, every decision was made to survive, and he was succeeding. By the time the sun, or the artificial light that acted as the sun, shifted to a low angle, only one opponent remained, the Queen herself. She rose slowly from her throne, her massive presence commanding the arena. Every whisper fell silent. Even the human's breathing seemed to pause in the quiet tension of the moment. The Queen's figure moved with terrifying grace. Her armor shimmered, her blades gleaming with alien energy. Her eyes locked on the human. You have done well, she said, her voice echoing across the arena. Few survive what you have endured, but now you face me. The question is, are you clever enough to survive this? The human did not hesitate. He raised his blades and met her gaze directly. I will do what I must, he said. There was no fear in his voice, only determination. The duel began. The Queen's movements were a blur, her strikes precise and lethal. The human parried, blocked, and dodged, his small blades flashing against her energy weapons. Each clash sent sparks into the air. She moved faster than anything he had faced before, yet he adapted, anticipating patterns, reading her movements, and exploiting brief openings. At one point, the Queen launched a spinning strike that could have cut him in half. The human dove aside, sliding along the arena floor and using his momentum to launch himself at her from the side. He struck quickly, aiming not to harm but to test her reactions. She blocked effortlessly, but the human had gathered information, understanding how she moved, how she thought, how she reacted under pressure. The Queen's laughter echoed through the chamber. It was softer now, almost approving. Clever, she said. You do not fight like a human. You fight like something else entirely. The human smiled faintly, breathing steadily. He was not just surviving. He was learning, adapting, and proving a point. That humans, though physically weaker, could match or surpass aliens through intelligence, creativity, and courage. Minutes stretched into hours. The duel became less about brute force and more about strategy. The human ducked under her strikes, rolled across the floor and used the arena's machinery to his advantage. He moved unpredictably, forcing the queen to adapt in real time, something even her most experienced warriors struggled to do. At one point, she feigned a strike and the human countered, taking a small but visible advantage. The queen paused, a flicker of surprise in her eyes. "So you are more than a survivor," she whispered. "You are a thinker, a true warrior." The final moments of the duel came not with a strike but with a standoff. Both stood breathing heavily, their blades crossed, their eyes locked. The queen's expression was unreadable. The human's calm confidence did not waver. In that silence, the queen understood something she had never considered before. This human was not just brave or clever. He represented the potential of an entire species, unpredictable, creative, resilient. Finally, the queen spoke. "You have survived, human. You have bested every challenge I have presented. You have proven something I had long doubted. Humans are more than fragile creatures. You are extraordinary." The human lowered his blade slightly. He had fought not to kill or dominate, but to survive and to show the truth about his people. "Thank you," he said. "I only did what was necessary. Humans survive because we adapt, because we take risks, because we refuse to give up." The queen smiled, a rare and almost gentle expression for someone so feared. "Indeed, and you have done all that in a single day. The galaxy would do well to notice what you and your kind are capable of." Her advisors murmured among themselves, shocked at her words. The human had not only survived, but had impressed the most powerful figure in their empire. Some whispered about the implications, others about the possibility that humans could be a force to reckon with in the galaxy. The human stepped back, blades sheathed. He had proven himself not with overwhelming strength, but with ingenuity, courage, and the unpredictable edge of humanity. The queen studied him for a long moment, then nodded slightly. "Tomorrow," she said, her voice steady, "we will discuss the future. You have earned more than survival. You have earned attention. The council wishes to speak with you to understand what it is that makes humans remarkable." The human felt a strange sense of accomplishment. He had come to the alien warship expecting danger and challenge. He had not expected recognition, respect, or the possibility that he might influence an entire species' view of humanity. Yet, here he was, standing before the alien queen, alive, and acknowledged as something extraordinary. As the crowd began to disperse, whispers filling the air with speculation, the queen lingered. She had laughed at him yesterday, mocking his small blade as a toothpick. Today that laughter had turned to respect, tinged with curiosity. She had underestimated humans, and perhaps in doing so she had discovered a force unlike any she had encountered before. The human left the arena, tired but alert. His mind raced, thinking not only about survival, but about what this encounter meant. He had shown that humans could face impossible odds and adapt. He had shown that courage, creativity, and quick thinking were as deadly as any weapon, and he knew this was only the beginning. Deep in the corridors of the warship, the queen watched him disappear from sight. "Clever human," she whispered. "Perhaps we have much to learn from you, and from your kind." The human's journey had begun with a single step into a place where he was expected to die. Now he had survived, adapted, and proven humanity's worth in a universe that had long underestimated them. The arena might be silent now, but the echoes of his courage, intelligence, and resilience would resonate far beyond these walls. And in that moment, the galaxy seemed a little different. A small human had arrived, and with him, the unpredictable, unstoppable force of humanity itself had begun to make its mark.